What's up, everybody? Good people alike. Let's get into this. Let's talk about Reggie Miller, Shaquille O'Neal, Charles Barkley, and all of the old bootlickers that they get to come on out and basically get out there and start doing their soft shoe. They always get them, don't they? Now, neither one of these people have any grounds to be talking about Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving has done more in this league and has done less than what they have done as far as damage to the league. Period. Now, you might say Shaq, who I agree with some of his stances a lot. Reggie, as a player, loved Reggie as a player. Charles, agree with a lot of things that he say on the panel. Loved him as a player. So it's not up from a place of hate. Um, Reggie has aligned himself more with the counterparts of business more than his brothers on the court. It was disappointing, but I expected it from Reggie. Shaquille O'Neal showed that he actually has heart and compassion for people and he's actually done things for the people. But when, see, here's the thing. People always talk about friends, right? Who's your friend, who's not your friend. All of these things, they talk about friends. When the chips are down, we're your friends, right? You never know how good your friend really is until you need a friend to be a friend. Y'all might have a good time, hang out, and be like, man, we had a blast together when we hang out. But when it's time to actually be a friend, that's when you start to see where you rank to them as a friend. And you might have ranked them a lot higher than they rank you. And y'all would think that Shaquille O'Neal is one of those guys who are out there for the people and all this until the chips are down and you start to really look around and see what's actually taking place. None of you guys should have commented on Kyrie Irving. Period. Do you know why they shouldn't have commented on Kyrie Irving? Because they have no knowledge of the situation. None of these guys have saw the documentary. I bet you Reggie didn't see it. I bet you Shaq didn't see the documentary. I bet you Charles Barkley didn't see the documentary. And already they're making comments about something they don't know about. So if you didn't see it, how do you know these things are in there? Who told you that? Did they watch it? Who told you what was said? So why would you have a whole disdain for a person to come out and do all this talking when you have no knowledge of what you're talking about? But they sent you to go out and do it. And you couldn't help but to go out there and jump out front, line, and center. Starting with you, Reggie. Oh man, you were so boisterous talking during an NBA basketball game. It was very important that you start calling out NBA players and how they should have said something about Kyrie Irving. How about what did you say about Robert Sarver, Reggie? What you say about that? I think NFL players should have came out and said something about Brett Favre. Did they make Favre apologize? Did they make Brett Favre say, hey man, I'm sorry? Why are they trying to make Kyrie Irving do their bidding? They're going to mess around and try to find a way to try to take his salary and make a team not want to take him. And he eventually will be traded before they lose him completely because the Brooklyn Nets is in line with all of this. But no one's saying anything about Joe Tsai, right? And what he did with Alibaba and his alignment with them and China, that's okay. Right? But I digress. Let's get into Reggie for a minute. Reggie, the man who talked about Kyrie Irving and moral standards and what he said is wrong and is bad for the game. Reggie, are you kidding? These are the same people who burnt your house down and vandalized you. You don't remember when you lost the game? Every time y'all lose a game in the playoffs, they vandalized your home, burnt your mansion down to the ground. Your house, your mansion, burning down. Mm, mm, mm. But you still out here shucking and jiving for them. Mm, mm, mm. Forget this man, right? And his fiance. Unbelievable. You saw this man's wife, followed her in her car, waited hours in your car till this woman got out of her way, right? Got out of her places of business. She's engaged, and you're telling her she's going to be yours. Wasn't that you, Reggie? Trying to take this man's fiance? Wasn't that you, Reggie? Wildin'. You was living it up. It was Miller time. Reggie, you were on the cover of the New York Post for messing with this dude's wife. Well, his soon-to-be wife. You were on TMZ. Reggie, the man put a sign up in the air, flew it with an airplane right around your house in your neighborhood. Reggie Miller, stop pursuing married women. Reggie Miller told this guy, allegedly, came up with some goons and told this man, look, what me and your wife do is none of your business. What you and her do, that's y'all business. But when she's with me, it's my business, not yours. Reggie Miller, you're talking about Kyrie Irving? Let's talk about what you did. This man had to fly this over the dog. Stop pursuing married women, Reggie. Your name in lights flying in the sky so all your neighbors could see it. This is how this guy could fight back then. You know, social media wasn't, where it is today. This man had to fight back against a multi-million-dollar NBA player trying to take his woman. And there's legal papers. 6/15/09. He had friends with guns. He implied I would get hurt if I didn't stop questioning him about the inappropriate relationship with my fiance and his attempts to subvert his efforts. I have attached numerous text messages to this petition as well. He's pursued my fiance with numerous text messages, BBMs, and phone calls. He attempted to all of his clandestinity What you said? Is that H? Or no, 2. And followed her from out the grocery store and stalked her in his car. He waited an hour, then followed her again when she was headed back north on PHC. He filed charges against you, Reggie Miller. Charges was filed. This was a civil harassment. And you're talking about Kyrie Irving on national TV? Reggie was wildin', Joe. You was wildin', Joe. But what you doing it for? You're trying to keep this going because somebody put a battery in your back. The powers that be. Glass house. So you in no position to talk, Reggie. Then hear you talk about Solver at all. Not like this, not on the air. Now, let's go to the Shaq. Yo, let's listen to Damon.
When you become the pawn, that's when they use you as. Anytime white people want to smooth some shit over, they go get that rich nigga and put you on TV.
Some people are conscious, some people are not. I could tell he's not conscious. He doesn't really care what's going on. But us, I know that the game that we used to love and we promote, it brings people together. And it hurts me sometimes when we have to sit up here to talk about stuff that divides the game. Now we got to answer for what this idiot has done.
To represent the people, you know? You asking your questions like, Damon, now that you made this $13 million, and we're not counting. Now that you've made all this money, let me ask you this. Let me just throw this out at you. You respond any way you want. Is there racism in America?
Sure. I think he should have been suspended. I think Adam should have suspended him. First of all, Adam's Jewish. You can't take my $40 million and insult my religion.
You be sitting there thinking about that paycheck talking about.
I can't believe that we ain't talking about that. We're talking about this idiot.
No, sir. If in there is, I ain't seen none.
Shaq. You want to talk about things that take away from the game. Now, this man I know you know quite well, Shaq. That is music producer Robert Ross. One of your besties at one time. That man accused you of ambush, kidnap, and assault to him over your sex tapes. No, can't be Shaq. He didn't just have a sex tape of you. He had it with your wife. But no, that didn't take away from the game, right? They didn't talk about this at the TNT table. And yeah, this is on the Casino for Life Patreon, by the way, where we got the court file. Pull it up. Beam it up to Scotty. We got the PDF for you. Bam! Court case. This is why you should all be on the Patreon, ladies and gentlemen. Filed May 24th, 2013. Look at this. Robert Ross complaint that Shaquille O'Neal failed to honor his oral contract, then recruited a street gang to kidnap Ross. Now, there was a statute of limitation that went through The California Civil Code of Procedures, Section 351, said the statute of limitations when a defendant is out of the state was unconstitutional as applied to Shaq because it was placed at an unreasonable burden of interstate commerce. We affirm. But this is good for the game, I guess. O'Neal was employed by the Miami Heat, Phoenix Suns, Cleveland Cavaliers, and Boston Celtics during that relevant period of time, requiring the National Basketball Association player who is engaged in a interstate commerce to be physically present in California places at the said time. Look at that. California's interests and ensuring Ross's ability to vindicate any claim against Shaq is minimal because Ross could have served O'Neal prudence to California's long-arm statute. This is how they're getting out of it. You see that? That's how they're getting out of it. All of his claims. But that's bad for the company, ain't it? Ain't that bad for the league? You allegedly hired gang members to kidnap this man over sex tapes because he was secretly recording you? Yeah, I mean, he was low down with what he did. But, man, that ain't what an NBA player is supposed to do. That's an idiot. Right? According to your logic, we got to talk about this idiot. Because he put a tweet on Twitter. But you allegedly was involved. You were alleged to be involved in a kidnapping of a music producer. Wow. You think you know people. And Sir Charles, where should we start with you? How many arrests? How many fights? In Orlando, you threw a man through a glass window, said, I hope he die. You were caught DUI and talking to the police about the girl you caught, the girl you had at the club, and woo, boy, she could do some things. While you was drunk driving, then you blame the NBA for you drinking and driving. How you gonna blame the NBA for your drinking and driving? Man, I blame the NBA because, I mean, they serve all these drinks and alcohols at the game, and how they expect those people to get home? Right? They gotta drive. So the NBA shouldn't even have nothing to really say about it. They the ones serving everybody drinks. And they still got you. Donovan McNabb got a DUI, and they took his job and everything. But Charles know them people. He married to them people. Reggie married to them people. Shaq in business with those people. This is what they do. They all in business with him and married him. So these are not the people to come on and to TV and talk and give us the advice. We ain't gonna listen to them because they come from nothing. They talking nonsense, and you lose your credibility with the people. What you should have said, Charles, is I don't even know what everybody talking about. I never even saw the tweet and anything, but if it did say all the stuff they saying, then that's terrible. And he should delete it and said, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't know it contained all that. Pay a fine or something, and then everybody move on. And let's get to the game. That's all you should have said, dummy. Because you didn't see the documentary. You talking about it like you didn't seen it 4 or 5 times. And acting like Kyrie Irving produced it, wrote it, directed, starred in it. But yet, y'all want to make him the target because he ain't going along with y'all program. They stupid. I'm telling you, they gonna end up, you gonna wake up that sleeping giant. And when people wake up and when they all wake up and say, oh, wait a minute. Oh, this what y'all on? All of these buck dancing, like Kwame Brown say, buck dancing, buck dancing. Shouts out to Ed Kwame Brown Bust Life. Don't forget to subscribe to his page and my page. Hit the notification bell so you can get all the notifications, hopefully. Thanks to everybody that hit up my Cash App, which is Carceno, Karceno. I'm very happy for everybody that did that because I didn't even tell people, I don't think, yesterday. But we had a lot of people come in there and show love. Appreciate it. For all y'all who super chat, many blessings to y'all too. The Patreon is Carceno for Life. As you saw, you want more information on that Shaquille O'Neal situation, it's right there so you can get caught up on it. And don't fall for these frauds because they puppets. They're talking for people they shouldn't be talking to. They all glass house. How can you talk when you've done way worse than Kyrie Irving has ever done in this league? Rory and Maul's on, okay. All right, well, I'm finna watch this Rory and Maul and see what's going on. I'ma holler at y'all.